UFC Fight Night, Hill versus Rountree Jr. These are my picks for the fights. We're going to kind of try to fly through this because it's late. And I've been working on this. Started early this morning. Now it's late. So like 18 hours. This is so cool. First fight of the night. Morning, I guess it'll be for me. So many great names on this card too, by the way. If you're trying to practice saying crazy names, this is the card to go to. Because first in the cage, we have Hamdi Abdulwahab versus Mohammed Usman. I think I nailed the name. So we look at the tail of the tape. Usman's a little bit older, but he has the reach advantage as well. They're the same height. Hamdi, I like Hamdi. He's an Olympic wrestler out of Egypt. He has some power in his hands. He's obviously a good wrestler. He had that fight versus... Oh, what the hell is it? Hold on, let me pull it up here. So we just need this up all the time. He had the fight versus... There it is, Dontel Mays. Where he looked pretty good, striking. He knocked him a couple times. He knocked him around with his punches. He wrestled him quite a bit. I think it was the end of the second. Dontel Mays got him with a straight to the left eye. That really messed him up. But that would be Hamdi. But other than that, pretty much just wrestled him. Obviously, that got overturned because he was on steroids, so he's pretty strong. And speaking of strong, look at Kamaru Usman's brother, Mohammed Usman. He is built. Strong guy, but unfortunately it seems like a lot of those strong guys in the UFC, they don't do the best. Mohammed Usman, 11-4, coming out of the Ultimate Fighter. He has power, for sure. His striking is alright. He's just kind of throwing. He gets tired. So does Hamdi. I think this fight's going to be two heavyweights swinging the first round if they don't go down. It's just going to be grappling and wrestling. And if it's going to be grappling and wrestling, we got to go with Hamdi, and we got to go with the decision. Next, another fun name to read. Two of them. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maksum. Now, this fight was one of the harder fights for me to pick, believe it or not. First, we can look at the tail of the tape. So, they are the same height, same reach, everything's the same, except 3 years goes to Ulanbekov. Now, Ulanbekov, he trains with Habib and those guys in Dagestan. And he's a really good fighter, good strikes, good takedowns, good wrestling, good submissions. Kind of crazy. Every fight in the UFC, he has gotten outstriked except his first fight versus Bruno Silva, the flyweight Bruno Silva. So that kind of says something. In the stats, who knows how good they are, but just going off of what I read, that is kind of crazy. The fight he had against Tim Elliott was definitely something to think about because he got taken down, he got controlled, he got dropped, he got put into bad spots. Tim Elliott's kind of an awkward guy to fight, it seems like. But that might have been an outlier. I know he is really good on the ground. He did sub Cody Durden. Custom made Cody Durden. One of the best nicknames the UFC. Custom made. I don't know. I think he's a little overhyped. I think he's only ranked because the flyweight division is probably the second worst division behind the heavyweight division. So I think he's good, but I think Azat Moxham, which I watched a lot of him too, I think he is actually really good. And I'm actually really excited for this fight because on the ground, I think they're semi-equal. I know Charles Johnson got the better of Maxim last year, but Charles Johnson's good. And he had his moments, and I think he might have actually won that fight. It was close. I think the wrestling is going to equal each other out. I think Tagir is going to get him down. But I think Maxim realizes that he's going to have to get right back up. Pressure. For a betting, we'll talk about it later, but Maxim for betting isn't a bad bet. Tagir is good though, so Olenbekov by decision. Okay. Oh, so much fun. We get even more fun names to read. That's what we love to do. Girl names. I wouldn't be able to tell you if those are girl names. I guess I could. Irina Alexeva versus Claudia Sagula. Alright, so kind of fun before we even get into this fight. The next fight is also a women's bantamweight fight. And all these women have fought each other, I swear. Melissa Dixon, Melissa Mullen, whatever, fought Claudia Sagola and beat her. Also, Melissa fought Irina and beat her. And then Daira versus Melissa, which is happening on the next fight. They already fought before in a different organization, and Melissa won. So it's kind of interesting. All these women are kind of sharing and fighting each other, and it made it easy to watch all the fights. But it was just kind of a fun little fact. Sheesh, I need a drink of water. All right. So, Irina, I think they call her the Russian Ronda Rousey, which is kind of crazy. She is shorter, or she's same height, less reach, but she seemed like she was long when I watched her. She had straight punches. She was kind of aggressive. She got kind of beat up versus Melissa when I watched that fight, but she looked decent. She looked strong. I'm more so picking against Claudia than I am Irina because I watched Claudia versus Melissa. She gave up. She got taken down, ground and pound at the end of the first, and then start of the second. It was like they never even moved. They went to the same spot and just got taken down and pounded out. And she just laid there and gave up. Maybe she was hurt, I don't know, but did not look good. And you know what they say, the pretty girls, Claudia, they never win. Never bet on them. I've learned that. So I'm going Alexieva by decision. They're chicks. Chicks always go the distance. It's a great bet. I could see a finish because that chick likes to quit, but I'm just going to pick decision. It makes it easy. All right, next fight. Daira Zelen. Try again. Dara Zelenyankova versus Melissa Dixon. We're calling her Dara. And then I talked about it earlier. Melissa Dixon, Melissa Mullen, I think is her name. I think she might have got married. I think her coach is Melissa or something Dixon, Jason Dixon. I don't know his name. His coach is Dixon, so she's going by Dixon. I should say coach / boyfriend or husband, whatever he is. You guys can call her Mullen. It just says Dixon. I'm going with it. Doesn't matter. Melissa has good ground and pound, good takedowns, good pressure, kind of weird strikes. She kind of, at first, I thought she wasn't going to be that good, but she proved to be pretty good. She's kind of hesitant at the one fight I watched, but she has the advantage here, not in height, same reach, but she has the advantage because she's beat Dara before. In that fight, it kind of seemed like a back and forth fight. I just watched the highlights, I'm going to be honest. And in that fight, it looks like Dara was actually getting the better in the striking until I think she got dropped or taken down and then pounded out by Melissa. So we're just going to pick the history to repeat itself, except it's a chick fight, so we're going by decision. We're going the distance. Next fight, Ismail Nurayev versus the Iron Turtle, Jung Young Park. Jung Young Park, Iron Turtle. Tail tape. He's 34 years old. They're the same height. He's 1 inch shorter. Iron Turtle likes pressure. He has power. He likes to slow down his opponents, clinch them, take them down, ground and pound. He'll try to sub you. Ismail Nurayev, this guy I watched fight. He fought for a belt in another organization, and he got subbed like a minute in or something like that, a couple minutes in. Not a good fight, but I watched him in his UFC fight versus Bruno Silva, and he made Bruno Silva look like Bruno Silva, right? Bruno Silva used to kind of be fun and have power, but he's like depressed in there. I don't know what happened. And Ismail did what he was supposed to do. He has good striking. He protects himself. He has good grappling, wrestling. I think with someone like Park pressuring you and pushing you up against the cage, I think he's going to get a lot of takedown. Park is. The Iron Turtle is going to get on his back. He's going to make you show up. He's going to ground and pound. He's either going to get the ground and pound finish in this, or what I'm really predicting. I'm predicting this guy's going to try to just get up, give his back. Iron Turtle latches on, chokes him out. Everybody goes home happy. All right, we got another fun name. Sayok Hyun Ko versus the gangster Oban Elliott. So, we can go to the tail of the tape first. Oban's younger. Oban's taller. Oban has the reach. He has the style, the smile. He has it all. Oban's a fun guy in the cage. He really likes to put on a show. Grappling, wrestling, striking looked better. He knocked out Basil Afez. That was a great knockout for him. I kind of think he still needs more time in there, and I think this is a good step for him. I'm just going to call him Ko guy. Ko. I watched him fight in the Contender Series. He fought this dude. It was huge, and he had a huge afro. This guy's average fight time was 50 seconds. So he had no experience. Ko was able to push him to the distance and win a decision just by striking from the outside, avoiding the big shots, getting some takedowns, pressure. And the other organizations he fought, I saw videos, people talking about him fighting 50-year-olds, and so I don't think his record is as good as the 11-2 looks. I think Oban just has the experience. He's going to have the pressure. He's going to have the wrestling. I think this guy's going to be shocked by a packed arena in the UFC. Oban loves that stuff. So we got Oban. I'm going to go by decision, just by wrestling him. I don't think Oban's going to risk it with this guy doing something stupid. He might try to go for another knockout. I hope so. But I got Oban. Oban winning. That's the safe pick. Now we're going into the main card. Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. This fight. Naimov looked good versus Felipe Lima until he got choked out. He had control. He had good feet movement. He had quick strikes. He was able to control him on the ground, not get taken down that much. And I thought he looked pretty good, especially with a guy like Felipe Lima flying at you like he did. He had so much speed and power. Lima's a crazy guy. He's good, but Naimov did a good job until he didn't in that fight. But I think just what he showed in that fight, in the Ovely fight, his movement and speed is what I really like. And I think Bogdan Grad, a lot of people are picking him. The one fight I watched of his was, versus Lucas Alexander. And he got the knockout. But I think Alexander had a couple moments there. And I just didn't like how Bogdan looked. With his arms up how he was and his movement. Seemed pretty stiff. Lucas Alexander isn't that good of an opponent. So I don't really rank it that high. I think Naimov is going to win this. I think it's going to be a decision. I think it's going to be a long day. I don't think there's going to be a lot of finishes. I think these matchups are pretty close. I think a lot of these matchups are pretty good and they're close. On to the next fight. This is Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Moda. Well, I really like Nicholas Moda. He has power. He's fun. He gets knockouts. Or he gets knocked out. And then Sadikov is maybe the real deal. He goes in there like he wants to kill you. The fight that he had, verse, I have to read the name to make sure I try to say it right. Vyacheslav Borshev. That fight was crazy. Kicked him in the head, knocked him down, ground and pound. So close to finishing him. He got close to getting finished himself at one point in the fight. He lets Borshev get up in the third round. Borshev, with his kickboxing, comes back, steals that round. And it's a draw. I think Sadikov won that fight. But if you can go before that, the Sadikov fight versus Evan Elder was crazy. It was a war. Every time he throws, it sounds like he's like breaking bones. It's crazy. Sadikov versus Terrence McKinney. He subbed him. Terrence McKinney was dangerous. And he beat him. Ismail Bonfim. He beat one of the Bonfim brothers. I thought they were going to be like champions. They were so good. They were just running through people. And he beat him. Knocked him out. So yeah, I think Sadikov's fighting at home. I think he's from Baku. So even if it goes the distance, I think he's going to get this judges' scorecards. But he doesn't often go to the decision. He doesn't go the distance. So we got Sadikov by KO. I know what it is. I hope you guys do too. All right. 2 more fun names to say. Tufik Musayev versus Motabek Orobai. That was probably one of my best ones that I did. Still sucked, but it was better. All right, so Torfik is what I'm going to call him. He is from Bellator. Well, he's fought in Bellator, Ryzen. He has good hands. He's quick. He beat like Patricio Pitbull. He fought. This is a fight that I watched. Was the Alexander Shabli fight in Bellator. I think this was for a belt or for their championship tournament, whatever it was. And Tofik essentially quit. Shabli kicked him in the body, like in the diaphragm type area. And then as the foot was coming down, he essentially, the cup hit him, the foot hit him kind of on the cup. And Tofik was just like, yep, I'm done. The ref's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I can't continue. And then the ref's like, okay, it's over. And he lost the fight. And then I tell you that story to tell you the story of Orobai. Orobai is a crazy person. Orobai is a caveman who fought dinosaurs. The Elves Brenner fight with Orobai, and he won. That was absolutely crazy. And then the Mateusz Rimbeski fight. Dude, it looks like Kill Bill. The blood everywhere. It looked like he had a kiwi coming out of his face with that huge bruise from Rimbeski. He came back in that third. He's reversing takedowns, fighting. I don't know. His body's on autopilot. He is the opposite of quit. But then you got the other guy who quit because he got kicked in the body. Put your life saving on Orobai. Or don't. But I got Orobai by decision just to be safe because I don't know a lot about that other dude. And the two fights I watched with Orobai did go to decision somehow. So I do think Orobai will get a knockout. But I'm going to be safe and go with decision. We're on to the next fight. Curtis Razor Blades versus Rizvan Gunaev. I've been hearing a lot of people on the internet. They say Kamaru Usman needs to retire. He has no knees. Rose is boring. She needs to retire. No one likes her. She's going to lose. Maverick's going to beat her. Buckley's going to beat Usman. And now they're saying, now that those two didn't work, now they're like, Curtis Blades, he doesn't do anything. He just gets knocked out. He needs to retire. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. You guys think that Rizvan Gunaev is going to knock him out? I watched Rizvan Gunaev in the Contender Series, and he did get a knockout, and he does have power. And he has the ability to knock people out, but not Curtis Blades. He doesn't have the ability to knock out Curtis Blades. A knee to the body isn't going to drop Curtis Blades with the clock winding down. Like what happened to Rizboyev in the Contender Series. That's what he did. Curtis Blades, I'm just going to name some people that he's fought. No, he didn't win them all, but he's fought. Tom Aspinall, Jailton Almeida, he beat Almeida. Pavlovich, he lost. Dawkins, he won. Aspinall got injured the first time. Rosenstrike. Derek Lewis. Volkov. Junior Dos Santos. Shamil Abdurkhanov, which I watched that fight and he got knocked the hell out. And Shamil kind of fights like Rizvan. Who else? I know there's more. Francis Ngannou. Alistair Overeem. Mark Hunt. Oleksiy Olenek. So, I hope you guys are understanding. I know this is Francis Ngannou the first time. I know this was 2016. It was a long time ago. But the experience, he's only 34 years old. The other dude's 33. No experience. And Curtis Blades is training in Colorado. He's training with Corey Sandhagen and probably other heavyweights, I don't know. You guys are crazy wacko if you think Rizvan is going to beat Curtis Blades. Crazy wacko. Blades by knockout. It's the only pick. Oh, this fight. I don't like this fight. I do love this fight. This fight was hard for me to pick. This fight was hard for me to pick. I went back and forth on it. I watched a lot of the other fights. I had to make a lot of tough decisions. Rewatching a lot of the fights. I watched the Justin Gaethje fights for Rafael Fiziev, Ignacio Bonamendez. I watched the Turner fight again. I watched his fight he had at Sphere. I watched a couple other ones. What I can say about Fiziev, his kicks, man, he is so fast, so much power. He makes people miss and he makes them pay for it. His feet work, the combinations, he'll make you miss, he'll step back, make you miss. Jump in, combo, powerful kick at the end, bounce out. It's like he's not even there. He is so good. Watching him strike, like that first fight versus Gaethje, sheesh, even the second one. Ignacio Bonamendez, I gotta give him his credit. He's very long, tall, he has a great advantage there. Great striking, great counter striking. He's fast as well. He can switch stances very well. He uses his knees inside. It's great timing, like I said. As long as he's not getting taken down, he's pretty unstoppable. Jeesh. Back to Fiziev. And this is a common theme for this fight and the next fight. Injury. That scares me. But I think it scares me more because it's in his head still. Because in that second Gaethje fight, he seemed a little slower. Not much, but more a little hesitant. He's scared. He doesn't want to get knocked out. He's just afraid of his leg to just give out on him again, I think. And that scares me. That's not why I'm picking Ignacio Bonamendez. I think the height and reach is going to be too much of an advantage for Ignacio. Fiziev has already talked about dropping down to featherweight, but got the call for this fight and said, yeah, I'll do it. So he's giving it one more shot. I think Fiziev is really good. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think if it goes the distance, which it might, probably will, I think Fiziev has a chance to win it because he's in Baku. But Ignacio, with the range, I think he'll stay on the outside. I think the way he gets beat is by getting taken down and mauled. And he burn his gas tank out. But Fiziev is not going to do that. He wants to strike and put on a show, which I appreciate. But I don't think he's going to get the win. It's going to be a great fight, and I am totally there for it. Hard one to pick, though. But I got Bonamendez by decision. A lot of decisions. You guys aren't going to be happy. Main event of the evening. We have one. Sweet Dreams. Jamal Hill versus Khalil Rountree Jr. Oh, you guys don't even know how much I watched of these guys. I went back and I watched a lot of Jamal Hill fights. Jamal Hill. He was so good. I really went back to 2022, Jamal Hill, when he beat Johnny Walker. It was like he had a electric shotgun and he just shot Johnny Walker right in the chest. Johnny Walker just flew back. Didn't know what hit him. He was out. That was a scary knockout. And then he beats Thiago Santos and finishes him after getting wrestled throughout the whole fight. His strikes were so pure, so perfect. And Thiago Santos, older, broken knees, whatever, still finished him. A lot of people didn't. John Jones didn't. So for Jamal Hill to do that, very impressive. Then you go to that championship fight versus Glover Teixeira. What a war, back and forth. Glover got him down. Hill gets back up. Submission attempts. Powerful blows. Glover had that cut on his head. But Jamal Hill's striking, that was the best Jamal Hill we've ever seen. So impressive. He won the championship. Light heavyweight champion, Jamal Hill, 2023. That was such a fun fight. He was on fire, that fight. And it was his fight to win, and he did it. But then unfortunately, between 2023 and 2024, he got bit by the injury bug. He had several surgeries. ACL, meniscus, I think Achilles, if I remember right. He had to have all kinds of surgeries. And he had to take some time off. And the one thing with Jamal Hill that I've noticed from 2023 when he fought Glover to 2024 when he fought Alex, the big thing was he comes in looking fatter. And I noticed that he has that belly. He got pretty fat when he was injured, and I just don't think he's ever really tried to completely burn it off because he looked like he was husky before, but he was still quick and he moved well. But then obviously we know what happened with the Alex thing. It is what it is. But then if you go to the next one, versus Yuri, that was the big one. That was what kind of scared everyone. Yuri looked really good. Yuri is good. The striking, the head movement, the awkward punches, but Jamal still looked pretty decent in that fight, and he has power. Like, he goes out. I'm not counting him out versus Khalil Rountree at all. He has a very good chance of winning. But he did look slower, and he was missing on his shots, and he does stand pretty flat-footed, and he does get hit, and his lead leg is sticking out. He does have a lot of power. He's pretty active with his striking. I don't think Khalil is going to wrestle, but if he does, he can get back up on his feet pretty well. He can strike with range, which is really what he needs to do. Because if you let Khalil get inside, you're in trouble. But speaking about that leg sticking out there, I think it's his right leg, left leg, whatever leg. I think Khalil is going to beat up the legs. I think Khalil, now we're talking about him, is going to move in and out, dart, aggressively pressing forward. You have to press forward on Jamal. You got to be really aggressive, kick his legs, be explosive. This is all things Khalil Rountree does. Like if you think back on that Anthony Smith fight, pressuring Anthony, dropping him. He looked like Jason Voorhees when he was walking up to Anthony Smith on the ground. Anthony Smith cowering down, it's Jason Voorhees with the machete. It was over. He was about to lose his life. But Khalil didn't follow up, was nice about it. And then a lot of people, including Jamal Hill, was like, the biggest win you have isn't even a win. It's you losing to Alex for the belt. You're proud that you survived to the 4th round. It's not that impressive. You still lost. You got finished. But Khalil's like, I learned a lot. I learned a lot in that fight. I learned a lot about myself. I let myself heal. I'm ready to go. And obviously this fight was supposed to happen months before, but it never did. And they had to reschedule for now, which I'm happy. I think this is going to be a really good main event. This is a tough fight for me to pick. But right when I saw this fight, I saw this happen in my head. Khalil Rountree knockout. I don't think this is going to the decision. I think it's going to be pretty violent. Jamal Hill is going to have to take a break. It's going to be tough for him. I think Rountree, man, he's just in shape. And I think he's pretty determined to get back there. It's going to be exciting. We'll see. real quick, we'll run through my bets before we get out of here. I think this is going to be a portion. I think this is why people watch the breakdowns for the bets. And I think this is why people search for breakdowns, I should say. First bet. Amazing name. Abda Halb. You guys know who it is. By decision. Plus 105. It's too late for this. It's almost 2 in the morning. Maxim. This is just a bet. I don't think he's going to win. But I think he's going to win. I'm betting on him to win by money line and by decision. Not going to be big, but at the plus money, the plus 380, plus 500, you got to do something. You got to bet something because how close that fight is. I don't think that whatever the other dude's at, minus whatever the hell he is, I don't think that's correct. I think the line's off. Park money line. You have to bet the Iron Turtle. If I live in America, I'm betting the Iron Turtle. If I live in Seoul, South Korea, I'm going to go out and get a drink with the Iron Turtle. Tomorrow morning at the casino, I'm placing my money on the Iron Turtle. He's not washed. He's going to have the cardio. He's going to have the wrestling. He's going to have the power. He has the height. He's not old. People are crazy. Plus money. Knockout. 15 minutes, he'll get it done. Rountree Jr. Money line. Rountree Jr. Knockout. We talked about it. Jamal's going to be there to get hit. Rountree. He has fists that want to hit him. It'll be a crazy knockout. We have 2 parlays to get through real quick. The first parlay number 1 at plus 156. Rountree Hill fight does not go the distance. Minus 370. I really think that should be like minus 300, minus 280. I do believe that there's a chance that their skills, Hill and Rountree's skills, are going to kind of equal each other out in the striking, and it's just going to be kind of like them pattering on the outside, waiting for somebody to commit so they can counter strike, and it's just going to be kind of a 5-round decision. You know, pick the biggest moment of the fight and pick the fighter. Sadikov, back in Baku, his hometown. He's going to get the win. Sadikov. I'm not going against a gangsta. Even at 480, that's a terrible line. Throw it in the parlay. Alexieva, the Russian Ronda Rousey. We can hope that you're at least 5% of Ronda Rousey tomorrow and today and get the job done. Parlay number 2. Plus 524. What I want you to do, get it in your car right now. You have time before the fight start. Get on your apps and put this 524 parlay in the book. We already talked about it. Curtis Razorblades, he's going to get it done. Orabaya, he is not a quitter. The other guy's a quitter. Sadikov, he's home in Baku. Russian Ronda Rousey, 5%. That's all I'm asking. And Dumdy, he's fighting an Usman, but not the one that we're scared of. The one that's flat-footed, that's going to get taken down and probably mauled. Hopefully lose by a decision. So those are my bets. Those are my picks. No one's even probably going to watch this, but it's all good. But I'm going to keep making these. I'm going to try to get better at them. I'm going to do them earlier so I have more energy. I'm going to do more prep and what I'm going to say. This is my first one. It's probably terrible. but we'll just keep going at it. It doesn't matter how bad it is as long as the picks hit. And I spent like 18 hours doing this today, so hopefully at least some of the bets hit. But until next time, hit your bets. I don't know. We're going to have to think about like something to say at the end of these too, I guess. All right, bye.